Welcome to the Rhodes Family Fantasy Football League. I'm your commissioner, Eric. Since 2010, the Rhodes Family Fantasy Football League, or Rfffl, has stood as a beacon of togetherness. This year marks our 9th active season, and it's our largest yet, with a total of 14 teams participating this year. As the commissioner, and as someone currently looking for projects to put on my reel, I've taken it upon myself to build a series of videos covering the events of this season. I'll be recapping the draft, previewing and reviewing weekly matchups, and following storylines throughout the league. Before the draft happens on Saturday, I think it's important to look back on our league's history and introduce each team manager with a recap of their performance in the 2020 season. We'll start with the group I like to call the Mainstays. These three teams have been in the league every year that it's been active, with the exception of the 2014 season, which was more of a middle school boys league. Kathy, Dave, and Eric were there when the league was born in Lebanon, and we're here now 11 years later. With a penchant for funny misspellings, fictional characters, and totalitarian monarchy, Kathy's squad is looking to bounce back from a disappointing 2020 campaign. In her standout 2018 season, she became the first manager to win 11 games in a 14-game season. A mere 2 years later, she recorded the second worst 14-game season in history of the Rfffl, winning only 2 games. In the past, her postseason performance has been disappointing, but last year she won both of her postseason games in an impressive turnaround. With the playoff field narrowed from last year's, Kathy and her pouty puppies are looking to use the struggles of 2020 to fuel their success in 2021. Before the reins were handed to me in 2012, Dave was the original commissioner of the Rfffl. In his 7 years of competing, Dave's teams have all shared a common theme: formidable rosters with middling results. Dave has never finished a season below 400. In fact, his 2011 season was the only losing record he's ever posted. However, he's never won more than 8 games in a season either. Even in the postseason, he has an even 8 wins and 8 losses. He boasts an impressive 2 wins against 2019's regular season champion Caitlin, as well as a win in his only meeting with last year's champion Eric, yet he's lost all 3 of his meetings with Jared. If Dave can mow down his miscues and sow some consistency, get off my lawn, you punks may find that the grass is greener in 2021. The current commissioner of the Rfffl, Eric, entered the league as a scrappy 10-year-old with all the luck in the world. His first 3 campaigns saw him finish first, second, and first in the regular season. However, on the follow-through of his impressive introduction to the league lives the only recorded winless season in Rfffl history, as well as a consistent record of shaky postseason performances. In fact, across his last 5 seasons, Eric has only won 2 playoff games. With help from late draft standout DK Metcalf, Eric was able to string together 6 straight wins to open up last season, but this year he and the Greene County Gators hope to sink their teeth into postseason glory. Our next group of players are the Originals. These 4 managers were present in the Rfffl's early seasons, and they've recently rejoined the league in search of glory. Susan, Caroline, Natalie, and Dan all have at least 3 seasons in the league, and they're looking to leave their mark in Rfffl history. As she heads into her 6th season in the league, Susan, also known as Aunt Fanny, has something to prove. She's had her ups and downs in the Rfffl. Unfortunately, there have been more downs than ups, posting only 2 winning seasons in her 5 years of play. Susan holds an all-time regular season record of 31 and 39. Her career isn't without bright spots, however. In 2019, she was one of only 3 managers to win a game against the regular season champion Caitlin. Her performance also tends to brighten up in the postseason. She's appeared in 3 Rfffl Bowls and has never finished a postseason in a lower position than where she finished the regular season. She's proven she has what it takes to go the distance, but Susan and 2020 Blows hope that 2021 is the year they take the final step and bring the trophy home to South Florida. After 3 lackluster seasons to start Caroline's Rfffl career, 2020 was a breakout showing. She tied the record for most wins in a season and made it all the way to the Rfffl Bowl. Despite her unorthodox draft strategy, she was able to ride the success of players like Stephon Diggs and star rookie CD Lamb to an impressive 2nd-place finish that included wins over Kyle, Dan, and Eric. As the competition grows even larger in 2021, Caroline and Sir Nitz-a-Lot have a chance to show us if last year was a fluke or if they've got the fantasy gods on their side. Since her instatement in the league as the Purple People Eaters, Natalie and her teams have followed in the footsteps of her father's teams. In her 4 years, she's played 66 games and has won 33 of them. Her best regular season record was an 8-win, 6-loss finish, and her worst was 6-7. However, unlike her father, one of the 33 games Natalie has won was the 2018 Rfffl Bowl, when Josie and the Pussycats rolled over Thelma's Toad Thumpers 91-67. Since that year, however, Natalie has posted 2 straight 7-7 regular seasons, and she's 1-5 in the postseason. The answer for Natalie and Josie and the Pussycats may not be clear, but it might be worth rethinking her draft strategy to avoid using her late picks on players like Jeremy Sprinkle and Jake Butt. After winning the inaugural Rfffl Bowl, Dan took a break from the league. Now he's back, and he appears to be building a franchise. In only 3 seasons, Dan is the only manager with 2 Rfffl Bowl titles. He's been a threat every year as well, as proven by his impressive 25-16 regular season record. Even more impressive is his 7-2 record in the postseason, though last year held a bit of a collapse in the playoffs. Dan is poised to bounce back and regain his grip on the league, but he'll have to overcome a few of his biggest regular season demons, as he currently holds a 1-3 record against Eric, an 0-3 record against Kyle, and a 2-3 record against Caroline. When a solid regular season performance is all but expected, Dan will need everything he's got to bring his 3rd Rfffl Bowl back to Tallahassee. The next 4 players have all completed at least their inaugural season after being brought in by one of the Rhodes kids. While they've had mixed results, they've all got a shot at the crown. While technically his first season was in 2014, last year was Kyle's first real experience in the Rfffl, and he did not disappoint. Favoring players from his hometown Titans, Kyle posted a solid 9 wins in the regular season, including 2 over Dan, on his way to a 3rd-place postseason finish. His 9-5 regular season was able to counteract his 5-9 2014 campaign, and it established him as one of the league's biggest threats. If last year's performance was any indicator, Kyle and Kumquat Calamity have a bright future in 2021. When she joined the league in 2019, Anna didn't know the first thing about football. In fact, she barely knew the first thing about the Rhodes family. In her first season, she established her strategy for picking players which valued their most prized intangible, their smile. While her start was shaky, Anna's team has shown signs of improvement, posting a 2020 season that came up just 1 win shy of 500 and pushed her into the playoffs. This year, Anna and Dizzy's Dummies hope to further improve against the most challenging league they faced. Much like Anna, Jared joined the league as part of the 2019 expansion. In fact, he and Anna were the only 2 teams left out of the playoffs that year. In 2020, Jared held on to the 8th playoff spot all the way to Week 14, when a 3-game skid saw him lose the position to none other than Anna. After a season racked with bad luck and close losses, Jared sees his 3rd season as a chance to prove himself as a real contender in the league. With the reduced playoff field, 2021 is as good a year as ever for Jared and You Shall Not Pass to make a run for the title. Eric with a K enters his sophomore season defending a championship. His 2020 campaign was filled with dominant performances, trash talk, and a few suspect trade offers. He grabbed a share of the 14-game season win record, finishing 11-3 on his way to a perfect postseason in which he averaged over 170 points per game. That also made him only the 2nd active player to win the Rfffl Bowl as the 1 seed. With his first chip in the bag, Eric the Red looks to forge the Rfffl's first ever repeat and wreak havoc on the league. As the Rfffl races into its largest ever season, we welcome our 21st, 22nd, and 23rd unique managers. Whether they know the whole family or just those 2 weirdos down in Alabama, these 3 are aiming to make a splash. In 2019, Natalie invited her friend Caitlin to join the league. Caitlin went on to win the regular season that year. And in 2020, Natalie invited Eric, and he won the whole regular season and the Rfffl Bowl. Now in 2021, Natalie invites Rachel to join. Natalie's accident-prone friend since high school, Rachel has met most of the people in this league, and this year she and 911 What's Your Emergency hope to leave their mark. Not physically though, please be careful. Jared's best man enters the league as an enigma. I only say this because I think I've spoken maybe 5 words to him outside of texting the group chat. Regardless, Kang and the cursed city of Atlanta are looking to be a bright light from a city with only a couple sports teams over 500. Some of us may hear about Catherine and think, who is that? But by the end of the season, that question will be shortened to who dat. The biggest Saints fan we've met since the Ruiz family, Catherine has an entire personality and history as a human being that I'm going to ignore, because her fandom is the main thing I can latch onto and write about. She's the second person Caroline has invited to join the league, and hopefully she and Nunya Breezeness have a better debut than the first. Those are this year's 14 teams. With the draft less than a week away, it's impossible to say who has the best chance at the title, but it'll certainly be an eventful season. That's all for today. I'll be back after the draft to review this year's lineups and look ahead to the matchups of Week 1.